What's up, everybody? It's your boy Coach T with Chicago Bears 360, man. Back at it already. Just did a live last night. And just like that, man, on the heels of the Roquan Smith trade, Ryan Poles does it again. Chase Claypool to the Bears. Breaking news probably within the last couple hours. We're going to talk about it, discuss it. We're going to get into it a little bit more. Listen, let's do this real fast. Let's cue the intro maestro. We're going to talk about it. Let's spend the next hour or so talking about it, and we'll get into it. Chase Claypool to the Bears. Let's go.
Life like chess, move to pieces, you know I roll in silence. On the road to them Benjis, I fill my teeth with diamonds. I'm high as fuck in the sky, you would've thought I'm pilot. I'm from Chicago, it get ugly, fill the streets with violence. Life like chess, move to pieces, you know I roll in silence.
Past, present, future. We bear down.
And there you have it, Bears fans. This is Coach T with Chicago Bears 360 back with a live video in the middle of the day. It's about 2:27 Eastern Standard Time, and about 30 minutes ago, Phil Yates broke the story. The Bears are trading for Steelers wide receiver Chase Claypool. Some of the conditions of the trades are still under discussions. I think there's supposed to be a press a little bit later for Ryan Poles. So Ryan Poles should make an appearance a little bit later. In Chase Claypool's, the Bears acquired 24-year-old wide receiver who's under contract till 2023. I think he's still on his rookie deal. 10 TDs as a rookie. Big body vertical threat that could soon become Chicago's wide receiver one, an upside player with plenty of talent that fills a major need for the Chicago Bears. Just like that, we're back. We're lit. Chicago Bears fans who were all down because of the Roquan trade on yesterday, many of us were pretty excited, right? We thought this was part of the rebuild. A little bit of conversations out there about tanking. I didn't think, and I don't think, this team has a tank mindset, right? This staff, this regime, but I do believe that they're trying to set this team up for future, right? So trading or switching a lot of the assets from the defensive side of the ball to the offensive side of the ball after a couple weeks of great performances by Justin Fields showing upside. Justin Fields, Luke Getsy putting on a show offensively the last 2 weeks probably gave GM Ryan Poles and head coach Matt Eberflus the final things that they needed to understand about this quarterback, so we'll know what we have going into the future. So the future is looking bright for the Chicago Bears, mind you, and we're still waiting on the trade details to come in. So I imagine this will be coupled with some picks, maybe some players. We don't know, so we're keeping an eye out for that, but we'll be alive. We're going to cover it. Also, if we can, we'll have the live feed to the presser in here as well. So we'll bring you the live feed from the press conference. Let me get that set up. Make sure we're all set up for that. And do me a favor, like, comment, share. Let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Already getting some feedback on Bears Twitter from our responses in the poll I put out this morning saying, hey, What do we expect the Bears to do? What were we expecting the Bears to do on the day? And I put trade David Montgomery, acquire wide receiver, do nothing. And then there was another option that I gave. Sorry about that. The option I gave the crowd or my followers as to what do they think would happen today before the 4:30 p.m. trade deadline. What did they think would happen? Right? And many said that we would go after a wide receiver. Some said we would do nothing. I think one of the comments I had was I thought we would go after somebody, but I thought we would also stick to Ryan Poles' MO, which is his MO is basically, signing players, lesser name players that fulfill a specific need. This is uncharacteristic, of Ryan Poles to go after a big name guy. So we're all set up for the live presser in case that does come up during the live broadcast. We're going to bring you the live and we'll cover it live. But like I said, if you're just joining us, do me a favor, like, share, comment. The Bears trade with the Pittsburgh Steelers to acquire Chase Claypool, wide receiver. He's now a Bear, a Chicago Bear. Now, Bears fans, if this doesn't give you hope, even the most skeptical of Bears fans, I'm looking for even the most skeptical Bears fans to be on board with this trade. Yeah. Expect even the most skeptical Bears fans to jump on board with this trade. Man, what does this mean to us offensively, strategically? I think it means a lot, right? We get Justin Fields a weapon, right? A potential true number one, right? Somebody he can throw the ball up to and have him go get it. Right. So now we have two big body wide receivers. And now we have a combination of size and speed at the wide receiver position that could cause some problems and be some problems for teams as we go down the stretch. Now, it also brings in the conversation about if this team is trying to tank for draft picks or so on and so forth. Are they trying to compete this year? This move leads me to believe that this team is trying to compete. They're not just phoning it in. The Roquan trade was what it was. I think, we all agree that, anything over 20 million, anything in the neighborhood of 20 million was too much to ask. So Roquan was asking for too much in that scenario. And no reasonable Bears fan was willing to let go or part ways with 20 plus million a year, or willing to make Roquan one of the highest paid linebackers in Bears history when this team is going to be centered around Justin Fields moving forward. So I think it was a strategic move. Once the Bears brass saw they had what they needed in a franchise quarterback, then, let's go out there and make some moves. Let's make some moves, and let's see what we can see. Start the process, right? Start the process of getting this thing going. So here it is. Now you don't wait till the draft. You go out and get a proven commodity, right? And you start the process of retooling now. I wouldn't even call it a rebuild, because we can almost take that off, those conversations off of the table now, right? It's not necessarily a rebuild. We were retooling. We were moving assets from the defense and adding assets on the offense. So it's shifting the talent, right? Also, there has to be a comfort level with the linebackers that we have on that defensive side of the ball and their ability to fill in the gaps for Roquan, or us for to be able to manufacture at least decent defensive play throughout the rest of the season to get this team moving in the right direction. So, I like the move. Again, I just want to know. I just want to know where's the Ryan Poles slander. I talked about this last night, but I want to know. How are we feeling about Ryan Poles now? I've been consistent in saying. I think I said it last night on last night's live. I like it, man. I like the direction that this regime is going. But how are we feeling about this? Let me get some of this stuff up on the screen. Some of these comments on the screen. Jazz says, I think Poles I think Poles more hasn't had the opportunity to go after big names. He went after Ogunjobi, but that just fell apart. Yeah, well, that's true, but then we have to draft, right? So a lot of people were upset because, he didn't go after the big name wide receivers even in the draft, right? So, again, the conversations about Pickens. I know we always going to have an element of Bears fans that's not going to be happy regardless of what the staff does. But, week after week, Pickens makes a decent play. It doesn't even have to be a great play. He makes a half-competent football play, and all you're hearing about from a sector of Bears fans is, we could have had this player. We could have had Pickens, and Pickens would have been lighting up the league in Chicago. Well, again, that's not necessarily true because people that were picked around him, Christian Watson, Dobbs, both in Green Bay, aren't lighting up the league. Not a whole lot of rookies, wide receivers lighting up the league because of the lack of practices, the lack of reps, the lack of preseason games, just offensive football struggle in general across the board. So, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. But nonetheless, again, here it is before 4 p.m. And dare I say, we still have 2 more hours. So, we're still waiting to hear the comp for the Claypool trade. I think we have something here from Adam Schefter. Comp update: Bears trade a second-round pick for wide receiver Chase Claypool. Right? A second-round pick. And for what I understand, we still had that means we just have one less pick. So basically, one of the seconds that we had on the heels of the Roquan trade. Now I don't know if it's necessarily the exact pick. The Ravens gave up. Now watch this. How does that work for Pittsburgh? Because now you get Roquan, and then you take a key player from one of your division rivals away from them. So I don't know what kind of, backroom dealing going on between the Ravens brass and the Bears brass. But it sounded like the Ravens actually came out pretty good right there. So, yeah, we still have a remaining second-round pick. So we have our first still, 1 second, a third, a fourth, 2 fourths, 2 fifths. So we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 picks going into next year's draft and $130+ million in salary cap space to continue to fill out this roster. So It's just, it's amazing. Like it's. I have no words to describe it, right? You know, second round draft picks from last year's drafts: Christian Watkins, George Pickens, John Mechie, Alec Pierce, Wan'Dale Robinson, Tyquan Thornton, Rondale Moore, Dwayne Eskridge, Tutu Atwell, Terrence Marshall. Name a guy. Name one of those guys that you would take over Chase Claypool. This is for the people that's going to be crying about George Pickens. By the way, George Pickens probably wasn't the most coveted wide receiver out of that group. It was probably Christian Watkins, right? But for those that won't let it go, which one of those guys would you take over Chase Claypool? If you're honest, probably nobody. Probably nobody. Again, Bears get another big body, potential wide receiver one, key target for Justin Fields and potential superstar in Chicago. And I think it plays into the Chicago mystique too, the Chicago weather, Chicago vibe. He's coming from Pittsburgh, another blue collar kind of town, football town, and it's, city, steel city, off the water. Like, he's used to the weather, like big body. So when things get cold and we start trying to have to play physical style of play and playing ball that a certain style, he fits the kind of prototype that you're looking for. And y'all have to excuse me. Some of my comments aren't coming through. Oh, they are. So, it just fits. I think it fits. Now, also Notre Dame kid, so he's used to the Midwest, right? So probably has some teammates already on the roster. I just think it's a fit, man, across the board. So I think it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense, right? So again, we're gonna hang out for a minute here. We're gonna give time for the presser to come up. Hopefully, we'll get all the details hashed out, and we'll see something from Ryan Poles here pretty soon. If my laptop doesn't die in the meantime, I may have to solicit some help from the wife and bringing my charger down. But yeah, we're in here, man. We're in here. Unfortunately, my buddy Switchy can't join us today. Right now, we're in the middle of the work day. Some of us are supposed to be working, but some of us decided we were going to break the news and jump on and take advantage of this exclusive. Again, if you're just joining us, do me a favor. Hit the like button, hit the share, comment in the comment section. That's right. Chase Claypool to the Bears for a second has been the announcement so far. If we hear anything or get any updates, we'll update you live on air. Chase Claypool is bigger than N'Keal Harry and runs a 4.4. So you got a bigger, faster guy. And then you just got a bigger guy. You got two big targets. So, again, a combination of big guys and speed across the board. And you still have some young developing wide receivers. And by young, I'm talking about Velus Jones Jr. I'm talking about Darnell Mooney, who by all means on this roster would be considered a vet. But you still have some speed out there, and now you can You know what I'm saying? You can get out there and make some things happen. Now, Chase comes in and he gives you a whole nother element to this team. Now, you have to think about it because I know how Bears fans are. It's going to be a lack of patience in the whole situation. They're going to think, game one on Sunday, he's in uniform and he's going to light it up for 10 catches and 100 yards and stuff like that. We have about, 10 weeks left in the season, enough time for him to ramp up, get familiar with the playbook, the language, the lingo, the adjustments, and, keeping in mind that N'Keal Harris is still ramping up. This team is still learning the offense as a whole, so it's going to take some ramp-up time. But in the long run, I think, he's going to be, this offense is going to be electric. Now, I will say this because I have a former player at Pittsburgh and Deontay Johnson. On that roster, on that Pittsburgh roster, Claypool wasn't considered the number one. But he would definitely come over to Chicago and be considered the number one. He's 6'4", 235. Definitely can make the 50-50 catches. He'll be a number one on our roster, right? Hasn't had a 1,000-yard season yet, right? Now I'm talking about perceptually, right? Perception-wise, who's the media going to go to for the sound bites, for the graphics? They're probably going to go to Chase, right? And Justin. It's going to be a Chase and Justin thing, but he's going to have to earn it, earn that number one wide receiver kind of moniker with his play. Another thing is, with all the conversation about the lack of talent up north, that team up north, right, that wears the yellow and green, if this was somebody that Pittsburgh was shopping out there on the market, good on Ryan Poles to make the aggressive move to make sure that this guy doesn't get added to that team up north, right? So had the Packers gotten Claypool, the majority of our fan base would have been complaining about the Bears giving up a second and going in on Poles. So let's give our GM some credit for staying ahead of the game when it comes to getting this, right? Getting this done. Again, the Bears still have a second, a first, a second, a third, 2 fourths, 2 fifths, and the 7th. 8 total picks going into next year's drafts with over $130 million in cap space still to spend and attract other talent to this team. And that's a conversation worth having as well. Are the Bears already on the way to start attracting free agent talent to come to the city to play with Justin Fields? You look at this wide receiver room now, and you have Claypool, you have Mooney, right? You have N'Keal Harry, former first rounder, right? You have Velus Jones Jr., right? And a whole host of other pieces. You have a great combo or good combo tight end in Cole Kmet, right? You have other pieces at the tight end position. You have a rookie phenom left tackle who's held his own through 8 games, right? You have some interior offensive line pieces. Hopefully we can get Lucas Patrick healthy back on that offensive line. A budding start in Tevin Jenkins. We'll figure out if Larry Borom is the answer at right tackle. But also you have Alex Leatherwood in the waiting, right? Right, you have some veteran pieces around there. Whether they stick around for a year or two, we don't know. But essentially, you have 2 good running backs, a 1-2 combo. I was expecting, low-key, because they hadn't announced, the comps for the trade, I was fully expecting to hear David Montgomery might have been included in that. And I'm glad to see he hasn't and he wasn't, because as many have stated, and I've been saying for a long time, David is our best blocking running back by far, and it ain't even close. And definitely don't want to include him in there with the trade, because we need to keep QB1 upright. So there you go on that. It's like that. So all you guys can go to start creating your Chase Claypool hype videos, breakdown videos, and all that good stuff. Y'all know how it goes. Yeah, man. I don't know what to say next. I just think, it's phenomenal, again, that we have the guy. We have the people. Yes, Raging Oracle, it is true. It is true. Chase Claypool for a second-round pick, straight up. Swifty just released this video. Just came across my screen. Chase Claypool for a second round straight up to the Chicago Bears. Ryan Post coming through right before the trade deadline. Bears fans, we lit. We up, as they say. We up. We are up. We are up. Again, any conversations about tanking can be cease and desist. The process to rebuild this roster and build it around Justin Fields has begun. It's well underway. We have an opportunity to make this happen. Just before the trade deadline, the Bears are supposed to do a presser here in a minute. If I still have battery life on my laptop, I'll bring that in on a separate screen, and we can hang out together and watch that. Bears fans, I want to know your thoughts. Now, conversely, our opponent for this week, Denver, has sent linebacker Bradley Chubb to the Dolphins. Lots of stuff. Busy. Trade deadline. Teams coming in right before the buzzer, so to speak, for the trade deadline. But Bears fans, we have to be ecstatic. Now, I'll tell you this. I'll forewarn you. Don't go out and get your Chase Claypool jerseys right away. Y'all know how it goes. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. How fast can he acclimate to this roster? How fast can he acclimate to this system? How fast can he get up to speed? That part, I'm going to give you 4 to 6 weeks with 9 weeks left in the season. I'm telling you, not by maybe in jersey, maybe a uniform this game. Hell, he may catch a jump ball or two. He may make a play or two. But give me the Jets game and by the Green Bay game, right? By the next Green Bay game, which is on December 4th, at home in Chicago. I'm expecting him to be pretty involved in this offense by then, and then 2 more weeks at Buffalo. I'm expecting him, between the Green Bay game and the Buffalo game, expecting him to make and have a huge impact. So starting at Green Bay through the end of the season. So after Green Bay, there's still 4 or 5 more games where we can see some outstanding play from Chase Claypool. Say that fast, like Chase Claypool. You can see some outstanding plays by Chase Claypool on this team. Now, Ryan Poles, if you want to be GOATed, if you want to be GOAT status, As Oracle says right here, I'm gonna see if I can find in the comments. He mentions a three technique in the draft, but you want to get GOAT status. If you can pull off a 3 technique with one of those picks, one of those additional picks you got sitting out there, right? Then we're not talking rebuild. We're talking about we go from rebuild. We've already gone from rebuild to retool. We go from retool to something, refurb, remodel, pick a term. But if you want to get GOAT status, let's get greedy, right? Let's get greedy while we out there. We still got the picks. You want to flip this roster mid-season? You find a way to get us a 3 technique within the next 2 hours, buddy, and Bears fans will go crazy, right? They'll absolutely lose it. All right? I mean, if you look at this group, great points being made all around in the chat. If you look at this group as a whole, this wide receiver group, Mooney, Harry, now Claypool, right? And then you still have projects in our other guys, right? You still have projects in guys like Velus Jones Jr. That you can work out and ramp up still. Let those guys compete. But we could still get those guys. You still got that guy in a jet sweep scenario. You still can throw new little wrinkles in your offense currently with Velus Jones. And this room is legit. This room is legit, right? Across the board. Got my boy Swift in here. Legit top 3 wide receivers now. I agree. Opposing defensive coordinators have to prepare. Gilly says Claypool, Mooney, Harry, Jones, Pringle. Not a bad wide receiver group. Trying to get you guys up on the board. There you go. Not a bad wide receiver group. What's going on? How we feeling? Let me get you up on the screen, bro.
You know I'm feeling good. We got these crab ass Bears fans talking about we gave up too much, like we don't already have another freshly traded second round pick waiting there. Like we don't know that Pose can work his magic and turn that into an earlier second round pick. But you know I'm good. I'm happy with it. I was actually one that did not want to send a second round pick with him until I heard the news that the Packers would possibly get him. Did you hear that?
Yeah. I mean, that changes. You gotta be aware of what's going on in your division, right? And be prepared to swoop in, right?
And I'm sorry, Coach, I'm driving, but now think about this, Coach, real quick. I know you probably was in the middle of a point. If the Packers had got Claypool, and next week Claypool went off with Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers goes on a tear, what you think the Bears fans gonna say?
I read your comment off Twitter. Actually, I stole your comment off Twitter. I read it out loud. Actually, I plagiarized, but I'm in a total agreement. The Bears wrestlers would have been losing their minds because it would have been. It's always division opponent envy. It's always the envy of the next team. We do that a lot, right? So
Yes,
you're absolutely right. It would have been a complete mess.
Yeah, man, they wild.
Hey, it is what it is, man. I you know what I'm saying? I let the haters hate, even our own haters. That's what they got the mute button for on Twitter. Let's see what my boy Swifty talking about in here. He says Pringle will battle Pettis for the wide receiver 1 now. I mean, just look at how the everything shifts. You know, we were talking about Pringle being a main player in the preseason. Now, you know, due to injury concerns as well as the emerging of some other guys, now he's pushed back in the pipeline a little bit.
Facts.
Way down the depth chart.
And another thing, I don't know if you touched on it, you or Swift touched on it yet, but people are complaining about him not having a 1,000-yard season when his rookie year he had 10 touchdowns. I'm sorry, I forgot. Was the purpose of football to put points on the board or get yards?
Oh, man, that's the stat boys and the fantasy guys, man. We don't get into that. And here's the other thing, man. I mentioned this earlier because I know Deontay. He got quarterbacks. The quarterbacks being at Deontay is the legit number one at Pittsburgh, right? He's the guy that's been getting all the balls, getting all the catches. So, of course, his yards wouldn't be up there. You know what I'm saying? They were using Chase as kind of like a 2 or 3. And when I think Chase was there when Juju was there, right? So, yeah, he had to earn his stripes.
So in 2018, Juju had 1,400 yards, and I think Antonio Brown had 1,200 yards that season. After that season, Juju had no more than, I believe, 900 yards.
We lost you, Ville. But
Can you hear?
Yeah, you back. I see you back now.
All right, my bad. I was saying that the only receiver that has produced since Juju and Antonio Brown that 2018 season is Deontay Johnson. So there has been no secondary one because Big Ben, his arm has gone to his arm went to shit. So, and then he started just checking down. He would check down to Connor, and remember Connor? I think did Connor have almost 100 receptions one season? And then Harris came last year, the running backs. So I ain't trying to hear that.
Man, we ain't focused on the negative, bro. We up.
Facts.
I mean, I was really focusing more on the conversations about tanking. Like we can extinguish those conversations now, right? Tanking, like right. I think we have to give Ryan Poles his credit and say, listen, man, there wasn't the intention to tank. It was, they would try. So you're trying to fix the flat while the car is moving, bro. Like I want to keep growing this football team, but if an opportunity presents itself like this, you take advantage of it. But don't go out there and create any opportunities like our fans want. Oh, we just need to get Justin some talent. We need to get him some weapons. Fans don't care. They think, GMs have a endless budget and they can just go out there and write blank checks to players, not realizing the way we get ourselves into the situation we were before this season was to do exactly that we just start signing guys off the street because they had these stats or that stats. And then the other part that they don't take into consideration is how does this player fit this system? How does this player fit this system? Just because he plays offensive guard doesn't mean he's a gap power type guy or a zone guy or, you know what I'm saying? Like they think players just can line up and play any system. So, again, it's a lot more to what we're doing. And I like the low sustained success approach and making small turns versus gaping wide turns. You can't spend money you don't have. Like y'all saw my post this morning, right? I was trying to be funny and I took a shot at the negative Bears fans. Like, bro, the same people that complain about, Ryan Poe's ability to manage this roster, them the same people living paycheck to paycheck. Like you can't manage your own stuff and trying to tell somebody like that does this was been doing this, like how to, like let the man cook in his kitchen.
Right.
Get a man space. I lost your video for a second. It keeps.
I'm in.
So I'm gonna cut to the comment section real fast. See what we got going on in here. See if we catch some. Derek Carter says I think Pose is and Flus will use the first 2 picks on D-line, in my opinion. I wouldn't be surprised at all, Derek. I would not be surprised at all. Because we're starting to stack the deck on the offensive side of the ball. So what do you really do after that? Let's see what it says. Raised Oracle says, well, I don't know, Coach. They flipped the defense for offense. Now it's just shootouts and lose by giving up more points. I wouldn't agree with that. Because if you think about that Indy defense, again, that Indy defense created a lot of superstars. They did a lot with that defense, not having a whole lot of name brand talent. And I think that might be the reason why they said, okay, you know what I'm saying, we can get away with not necessarily having Roquan. Like, what's the fall off between Roquan and this particular defense between Roquan and Sanborn? Now, if we were playing a 3-4 defense where we were relying on, you know what I'm saying, him a little bit more, then maybe it would be a bigger fall off. But again, we have to Bears fans have to readjust their mindsets. This is not the old regime. It's not name talent recognition first. It's system first and then talent. How does the talent fit the system? Right? Swifty highlighted this, right? In our conversation last night. Roquan is not playing as well in this system as he was in the other one. In the other system, he was able to move around and fly around because he had bigger bodies in front of him eating up blocks. Well, in this defense that relies on more agile, athletic, interior defensive linemen, then you have to be able to get off blocks on your own a little bit better. Not saying he's a bad player, but I'm saying system fit wise, maybe not giving them exactly what they were looking for from that linebacker position. So I wouldn't go crazy with the extreme, oh, yeah, you know what I'm saying, we finna be terrible on defense takes right away. I would say give it time, as I said, all next season. Gilly said Valus will be more used next season. They are really just trying to figure him out. I think he's just going to grow in the system. I still think he's going to get his touches in those jet sweep opportunities. He has a better frame than, say, putting Darnell Mooney in that spot and handing him the ball on the jet sweep. His 175 pounds going to get him killed. Valus acts as another running back from that slot position. And then he gives defensive coordinators something to think about when you send him in jet motion, whether he gets the ball or not. And he's a legit speed threat. Like, let's not crap on Valus Jones because he dropped a ball.
Coach, you got to break it. I don't know if Swifty's seen it. You got to break it.
Get out of here, bro. Are they doing something else?
Cam Akers for David Montgomery.
Oh my God, bro. We going crazy.
Let's see, that's Daniel Daniel.
I'm trying to go to the top of my. See, I knew it was a reason why I was getting on live today. Do we have another breaking story? Another exclusive? Where is Adam Schefter? I'm keeping my refreshed on the Adam Schefter timeline to see it. The Falcons just traded somebody. Jaguars and Falcons make a trade. I don't see the David Montgomery chatter yet. I'm going to put the alerts on. If y'all see anything, let me know. Let me know who sent it. I got Swifty on the line, on a speed dial. He's our resident Adam Schefter, Phil Yates, or whoever his preferred guy is. I have Ville on the line. We bringing it to y'all live today. The rebuild has begun. The retooling has begun. Adam Rank commenting. He said it's expensive. The trade was expensive. Detroit, I don't know what y'all thinking. Y'all sending a tight end to a division opponent? Detroit continues to impress us, right? Wow. Detroiting again. Hey, anybody seen Don Burr lately? I hadn't seen him in a while. I was just checking him. I'm concerned about my boy. Haven't seen him on any Bears pressers. I've seen some imposter Matt Nagy's and things like that, but I haven't seen any Don Burrs. I'm still looking for that trade. Still looking for a second trade line up here. Chase Claypool and Cole Kmet reunite. So we don't have to worry about, who's going to sponsor Chase Claypool when he gets to the city, right? Two Notre Damers, Golden Domers reunite in Soldier Field. I'm trying to see what you're talking about here, bro.
Yeah, I'm looking forward too. Like it came up with.
I know they were talking about that trade earlier today. Yeah. I know they were talking about the Akers deal earlier today, but just since we reporting trades, Calvin Ridley is going to the Jaguars. Talked about the Detroit trade. What else y'all want to see come in here? Who else? I would like to see us make a play for a 3 technique, to be honest with you. I mean, if we're going to do something, that's a plug-and-play guy right there. Like, you don't have to do a whole lot at 3 technique. You learn the calls, but your gap assignment in the base 4-3 defense is your base 4-3 defense. That would have an immediate impact on this team. I don't know if it's any 3 techniques out there, but, hell, you got an hour and 15 minutes to make something happen. Treat it like the draft. You're on the clock. I'm seeing a lot of craziness online about Bayless Jones Jr. being a running back. Bears fans trip me out, bro. They care nothing about player development and seeing guys progress. Like, I don't know what this turnkey approach to football is where you just think guys get off the bus and they just, just coming in as who they are. Like, the kid's going to develop, man. We have a system to develop players, not we want to take a kid, man, that has potential and just throw him to the wolves, man. I don't get it. I don't get it, but at the same time, I don't. Anyway, I'll keep that part to myself. Let's see. Let's see what we come up with. Let me see. Let me get to the comments real section. I know I'm ignoring y'all. I just wanted to make sure we didn't have another breaking news trade come through while we were live. Let me get to some of these comments in the comment section. I'm definitely gonna get to this in trade draft picks. Let's see. Raging Bull, you've been on the show all day, man. Let me see if I can get some other people in here. Let me see. Talk about Alan Williams' weak A scheme. You really think Alan's scheme is weak? Or are you being a victim of the moment? Oh, so Are you being a victim of the moment? Would you call a defensive system that only gave up its first second half legit touchdown to one of the best teams in the leagues, offensive and defensive teams in the league holistically? Would you call that system weak without legitimate players that's been balling all season with the exception of the Dallas game? Would you call that a weak scheme? I would say that's a bit overreactive. But you know what I'm saying? To each his own. Derek said the three techs are in the draft. Hadn't had a chance to be poking around. I hadn't had a chance to be poking around the draft prospects yet. But you know, either way, I'm going to have this conversation with you live on the live, Alan. Since you wanna talk, let's talk football, right? Let's talk football. And y'all know how I go down on Coach T show, right? We know X's and O's over here, so a lot of the stuff y'all be trying to let slide in Bears fandom don't slide with me. Allen Williams' first half schemes all season long been getting us killed. Allen Williams on a young football team is calling plays on a new team, right? And just install the scheme this summer, right? With 15 contact practices, installed a system and somehow managed with 2 rookies on his defense to not have given up a legitimate first down up and through 7 weeks of an NFL season, and you're calling that weak. They struggled with a new system that they just installed over the summer. New team, new players. They don't know each other. They don't know the coach. They don't know anything. They just gelling at his team. And for us to get through 7 weeks having only given up 1 legitimate touchdown, you're calling that weak. Not only do that, they go on the road and beat the hell out of New England Patriots and shut them down pretty much. You're calling that a weak system. I think that's an overreaction. That's not ball. That's not football. That's not football, bro. That's not football. It's not screw the first half. If you've ever played the game of football or coached the football before, you know that you just don't. It ain't Madden. You just don't roll a helmet out there, or because you walk 53 guys in the locker room, that you can just go out there and play ball like that. That's not how it works. This is not how it works. So I don't know what to tell you. I can't teach you football in one setting, or how football actually works in a real life, building a football team or coaching a football team. But that's not how it works. The expectation, what we're doing right now, is what you expect on a young team, young coach, right? Young coach, new coach to the system, young players who getting their feet wet, right? Nobody's winning the Super Bowl in Chicago this year, even making the playoff. This is a ramp up development or a project and build this team up. The turnkey approach to Bears fandom, y'all gotta stop, man. Y'all gotta knock it off. It's just not. I don't know what y'all expect. All right, bro. I'm on to the next comment. Who else got something for me? Again, if you just joining us live on the show, we got Chase Claypool to the Chicago Bears for a 2nd round pick. The Bears still have a first, a second, a third, 2 fourths, 2 fifths, and a 7th, and 170. I was going to give us 170 million. They still have 130 plus million going into the offseason, going to the draft to work with. I don't know what y'all got to complain about, but I've learned that Bears fans will find something still to complain about when there's seemingly nothing but optimism, nothing but something to look forward to. When there's been nothing to look forward to, we'll find a way. So we still got a first, second, third, 2/4, 2/5, and a seventh, like I said, and a little over 130 million, I believe, in salary cap space remaining. I think we're in a pretty good position. Like somebody said out there, I think it was Raging. Go out there and get your 3 technique. Maybe go out there and get a second corner. I don't know what what the long-term plans is for Eddie Jackson out there, but he's balling out right now. I think Swifty said he has 3 years remaining on his deal, so we still got time to let that run out. And then you just play ball. You don't have to reach. You get you a 3 technique in another corner, and you can just play ball. If you want to go out there and get a young linebacker, a young stud linebacker that fits the system better, somebody you can bring in that's going to have an immediate impact on a rookie deal, you can do that as well. You can go corner, 3 technique, corner, linebacker, right? Or you can just go out there in the late rounds. You can find you another running back. If you don't want to extend David Montgomery, you can just do you have the flexibility to do what it is you want to do with this roster. So it's up to you. It's up to you. It's up to you. You guys can so let me know. You guys let me know in the comments. After this wide receiver spot's locked down, position by position, what would you do? Who do you go get? Who do you go get? Do you go get a wide receiver? Do you go get a tackle? Do you go get a guard? Or do you start shifting some of that money, some of those draft assets to the defensive side of the ball and get some guys on that side of the ball? Let me know. What do you do? How do you move forward? You still here? You back?
Yeah, I drove all the way home for you, Coach. I came back home. I was when all that news was coming in, I'm like, let me get to the crib, get down to the studio. You see, I ain't even.
Jay Sanders said we need another wide receiver. How you feel about that, Vil?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I think the best thing that we can have is weapons for Fields. I think Claypool he can turn out into a 1, but he isn't there yet. So if they go out in the draft and there is an available 1 or X receiver that can make a difference, you want that depth. You can put that new X receiver in place. You have Claypool on the other side, and you can move all the parts around. You can move Claypool, that X receiver, Mooney. Everybody's interchangeable, but you also need that depth too. So I was looking for somebody like a Kendrick Bourne, somebody, maybe even an offseason. If they end up cutting him or something like that, you can pick up Kendrick Bourne. Look at the Chiefs' depth. They got nothing but depth, and they keep on getting players. They just traded for Kadarius Toney. They got Sky Moore waiting in the wings. They just drafted him. They got Juju, Hardman, MVS. You need as many weapons as you can.
Yeah, I agree. I think what we'll be in a couple years, we'll be a team like the Chiefs where the salary caps becomes a tool and not a liability, right? And all those guys are luxuries instead of, you know what I'm saying, well, I got to get this. I got to make this move out of desperation versus, you waking up in the morning and say, listen, I'm going shopping. You know what I'm saying? I don't need that. You know what I'm saying? I don't need the $250 J's, but I got it. You know what I'm saying? I got it. It ain't going to hurt nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to slide and get these ones and shopping like that versus, man, I'm on a budget. It's a whole nother experience, right?
Yeah, if you got it, it's best to have the surplus because You coach, you a dresser. You know how it is when you got to step out and you may not have had a suit or a particular outfit that's right for that event. So you prepare yourself. You grow in as the years go on, as you mature. You realize that you need 3 or 4 suits in different colors. You realize that you need a linen suit when you go to certain weather. So you make sure you have the surplus for when those situations happen. You don't wait until the situation happens and then you got to rush it and go try to find it. It's better be prepared than anything.
Somebody asked. Rico asked, how do we feel about Cole Kmet's progress? I think it's another situation. I think it's another situation. Cole Kmet is another situation where perception of Bears fans is off. If you don't watch film, your perception of Cole Kmet is totally jaded towards the negative. You know, this man blocks his tail off in a run game. You know what I'm saying? This run game that we laud so much in Chicago, being the top rush team in the league, bro, that would not be without Cole Kmet. The thing in pass pro and the run game, of course, the run game is different because running backs getting the ball. But in the running game, fans forget about the tight end. In the pass game, fans forget about the tight end and the running back. Like, we just block 5-man protection the entire game, right? And they don't have a play. That's why you hear crazy things like, oh, yeah, you know what I'm saying, we can trade and get rid of Demo. No, we can't. If you want to get your quarterback killed, right, then you can get rid of Demo because those other dudes don't block in pass pro, right? Same thing with Kmet. If you want to go from perhaps the top ranking rush offense in the league to middle of the pack, then where's a lot of those run plays going? They're going off whether it's outside zone, the point of attack is at the tackle. If it's a zone, if it's a gap power play, the point of attack is at the tackle. The tackle and the tight end are making the key blocks in that system. And you want to get rid of the guy that's been performing well at it. Cole is a 3. I said it, and I'm gonna keep saying it. Cole is a 3 to 5 catch a game guy, and let him do what he does in the run game. If he gives you 3 to 5 catches a game, 5 catches would be a great game for Cole. From a receiving standpoint, that means we went off. Somebody saw something in the tape, in the film, and we just exposed somebody doing something. That's what that meant. But other than that, 3 catches, good game for Cole. What you think? What you got for that one, Bill? Trying to get me a Chargers.
I was looking at the notification. The Eagles is back active. The Eagles are in talks with Detroit about Jamal Williams, so you know they tanking. But as for Kmet, you know, you're the technique guy, so I go with you on that. I believe he has been called upon to do a lot of blocking, which he's pretty good at. People sleep on his blocking skills, and that has kept him down from becoming the receiving tight end that he was even last year when he got over 60 receptions. I believe he deserves the opportunity to show what he can get. I don't think he can reach a Kelsey-esque type of level. Obviously, there's not many out there that will ever reach that level, but he's a respectable pass catcher, route runner, and you know, yeah, I give it to him 3 to 4, maybe 5 receptions a game, type of guy.
I think that you make a great point, man. We need to put that out there. Like, a terrible comp for Cole is Kelsey and Kettles. He'll never be that dude. Like, if y'all just look at their body types, they're not the same. Like, Cole Kmet is a monster. A better comp to Cole is Gronk. But here's the thing: even Gronk has more twitch than Cole Kmet does. Gronk was more shaky and more twitchy, even with his size. That's what made Gronk a freak of nature, because he was that big and he had great wide receiver style route running skills, right? Cole is not there from a route running perspective yet, but at the same time, tight ends of that size, you tend to develop later on that part of their game. So I wouldn't go crazy on that. Rico said he had a great comment. He said, I like the wide receiver room. He said Claypool, Mooney, and Valus. I want to see more in the slot, real slot. I like that. I like the fact that now we're gonna have different combinations that we can use, different personnel groups. Say I get in the red zone, right? And I gotta go bigger in the red zone because the potential of running the ball is you have to run the ball in the red zone to be successful, right? So now I'm going with a bigger lineup. I'm going with Claypool. I'm going Harry. And then I'm going to go with Velus Jones Jr. perhaps in the slot because now I got big and fast. I got two guys that can get the ball vertically and jump balls. I got two guys because they big bodies. You can shield guys out similar to N'Keal Harry did last week where he's so big, he bodies and blocks out any cornerbacks from coming around him, right? So on a slant or something like that, you can just throw the ball at a bigger target, whether it go vertical or, horizontal. And then you got additional running back on the field in Velus Jones who can get the ball on the jet sweep and score on it, right? Down in that red zone, that's where it starts getting a little bit, things get tight down there, right? And then you still have enough speed in the middle of the field with Mooney and Pettis and some of those other guys where outside the 20s, right, 20 to 20, you can still open up the field a little bit and get guys open. So, yeah, man, I mean, I would be good even if we didn't make any moves further and we just wrote next season out and just said, okay, let me see what we got in this wide receiver group right here. We're not going to reach, right? We're not going to reach. We're just going to ride this group out and see what we got. See, even the tight end group. Now, luxury would be you're going to put rims on it. Okay, you want to put rims on it. Then if you get a guy, if a guy falls to you in the first or the second, and he just so happen to be electric, like game breaker, go get him. Even somewhere later on in the draft, you find a tight end who's electric. He's a now you get your Kittle, your Kelsey type, a true, what is that? It's not a U, Y, X. A U tight end? U tight end. Who's the more shaky one? The shaky tight end. I'm having a brain cramp moment right now. I remember there's a U, but a true U tight end who's a little bit more shaky, more sticky with his route running. He's a tight end hybrid. He's more of a wide receiver than he is a tight end. If that luxury player falls to you, then by all means, you go. If you want to put rims on it, go get it. And I still believe, because they mentioned this on J. Key, Will, Max show this morning. I was watching as I was attempting to do some cardio. They mentioned the offensive line. I still believe that Ryan and Ian they believe they're in their ability to scout offensive linemen better than anybody else in the league. I believe they think they can find offensive linemen in the 4th to 6th round better than anybody else in the league. And I don't think we're gonna see a whole lot of first, second, and third rounders come to Chicago that play up front. Let that be my hot take. What you think about that one?
Yeah, I'm with it. I'm still just making sure I keep up with everything. What we got?
Yeah, you gotta keep hot on that breaking news because we got a little less than an hour, right? This is crazy, man. This is crazy.
Yeah, I'm still seeing. I'm on Facebook. I'm on everything. Everybody's tweeting, talking about the overpay, and You got
Hey, so
Bears
y'all
fans
seen that
out
Twitter account out there? Black Adam Schefter. Ville is him.
there. Yeah, man. I'm
Ville
secretly behind.
is Black Adam Schefter
That's my
out there.
burner.
He said that's your burner.
Yeah, that's my burner.
I'm getting in these comments a little bit. Got to show the followers some love, man. Get these comments up. What happened to Oso? He dipped on us. He didn't like me. He gonna be mad at me on Twitter.
They don't like it when you push back.
Nah, man. I'm just like, look, bro. I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna like stand for the crazies, bro. I get it. Like when you got legit football arguments, I'm willing to have a conversation about it. Not that I always gotta be right, but come on, man. The lack of context. You know what I'm saying? That's like saying it's almost like Bears fans would be mad because we're not legitimate Super Bowl contenders this year without context. Like if you're mad because the Bears potentially won't make the playoffs this year. Like if you're mad because we potentially will miss the playoffs this year, or or we're not making a super. Like if your take is zero defect, with no respect for progress that you have to make in building a football team, then I don't. You know what I'm saying? I got something for you. I got something for you right here. This is what I got for you.
Anything is possible, got feelings in my cup. I see everything in double, got 2 blunts, I'm rolling up. I've been walking in a circle, no expression, now
I'm just gonna let you hold that drunk uncle right there. I'm just gonna let you hold that drunk uncle award. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you hold that drunk uncle. I see you right there, Bill. I'm gonna let you hold that drunk uncle award a week if you have anything to say other than this team is headed in the right direction. Now, there's little nuances that we can debate in there, but if you still on the Ryan Poles hate train and all that other stuff, right? You still on your Bears DIY media having rants about how this team is so terrible, right? If you can't find anything positive to say about this football team or this regime, I'm gonna do it for you one more time because we just got it like that around here. Let's.
Anything is possible, got feelings in my cup. I see everything in double, got 2 blunts, I'm rolling up. I've been walking in a circle, no expression, now I'm stuck. 34 decline, cough like Giannis chasing bucks. Anything is possible, got feelings in my cup. I see everything in double.
Yeah, hold that drunk uncle award, bro. Hey, this is a legitimate gripe right here. Hold on a second. This is a legitimate gripe right here. Legit gripe. Raisin always come with the legit ones though. My man said, I'm mad because we might win too many games. I want a high draft pick and the best chance to get real talent, a rebuilding team, overpaid, tier 2 free agent turns us into Jags this year. Well, here's the thing, though. I like the comment about the draft part of it. Where you lost me is if you're talking about Claypool, I'll say this: we still got Claypool on his rookie deal, I believe. And we got Claypool on his rookie deal. We ain't lost nothing. That means he get to play this deal out, and we see what we got. We ain't lost nothing, right? If he turns out to be that dude, then pay the man. If he ain't, man, let him walk. Plus, we still got 130 in the bank, right? I mean, what's the L? You know what I'm saying? We playing with house money. That's the key. The key is The key is putting yourself in a position where when wifey says, listen, I want to go to Cancun this summer. I want to go to Cabo this summer, right? I want to go to London. I want to go to Paris. You say, all right, we got it. We got it. What you just go ahead and set it up. We got it. We got it like that. You know what I'm saying? We not talking about. See what I'm saying? That's the thing. Putting yourself in that position versus, you know what I'm saying, being that guy that window shops that be like, man, you on Instagram watching other people taking vacations all summer. We not finna be that team no more. We up. I know you like him, Clay. I'm just messing with you. I know you like him, Raging. I'm just messing with you. I don't think this regime has it in them to overpay anybody. Chase Claypool is the biggest name that's ever been associated with this football regime, this new regime, and it ain't even close. And to say that any of us weren't caught off guard by this, we all would be lying. We will all be lying. But listen, man, how long we been on this thing? We pushing up on an hour and a half, man. I was waiting for a Bears presser. I think they're gonna take this thing right up to the wire in terms of fishing for deals. If we make another splash move, I'll be back on. Otherwise, hey, listen, man, enjoy this, Bears fans. We up, right? Other teams are going to have to prepare for us now the way we have to prepare for other teams. Think about it this way. I'll hit you from the side. Think about it this way, right? Think about it this way. We still got to go to Green Bay, and we get to take Chase Claypool, right, and Justin Fields with this team on the upswing as far as offensive football, and we don't go to Green Bay, they come to us. But we get to face Green Bay and Minnesota and Detroit twice with this new talent. We get to face these guys twice with almost a whole nother football team, Bill. Totally different football team than they saw the first week. I'm finna wrap this thing up. What you got for us, Vil?
Nah, I'm good to go. Like all the crab ass, that's what I call them. You call them drunk ups, I call them crab ass. Like, I ain't got time for all that shit. Like, they beg for help, they get help, they say they overpaid, all of this shit. Like, talking about the defense was doing everything they could over the last 7 to 8 weeks, and then week 8, they lay an egg, basically. We've seen elite defenses this year lay eggs. It's like it's always a complaint, like you said. So just let the crab asses be crabs. I'm enjoying the rebuild. You know, Poles is doing his thing. It ain't like everybody else likes because they used to the same old bullshit. So just let them be crabs.
I like the part, man, where I said this, I think, earlier this week. Man, we get to enjoy competent, competitive football, right?
Yeah.
Compared to last year, man, where we always sit there like, what the hell are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just didn't make any common sense what we're doing. Like, so I could say, even in a big loss this past Sunday in Dallas game, I could sit there and watch the football and still be relaxed watching the game, thinking, hey, all we have to do is make a play here, a play there, and we're in the game. Like, we were at least seeing competent, offensive football. So, like you said, man, if you can't get on the train, man, I don't know what to tell you. That's why I keep my mute button close on Bears Twitter. And, you know, as far as the channel is concerned, you know, I handle those on a case-by-case basis. But listen, I'm your boy, Coach T. That's my guy, Vil. Listen, Swifty working right now. He couldn't join us today, but I'm sure he's going to be joining us soon. Listen, stay tuned. We might be back out here, might not. We'll see what happens. But until then, man, do me a favor, y'all. Y'all bear down.